What's happening, people? I hope everything's good on your end. I really do. I think compassion is intelligent. Better yet, I think compassion is intelligence. When we believe we know it's right, when we believe we know it's better than other people, maybe even more optimal or true or more correct, especially when we're certain about this, it is very easy to condemn and judge others who do not accept, acknowledge, or adhere to what we believe. This is natural. This is human. We're going to do this, but this is never evolved. This is never enlightened. This is never intelligent, in my opinion, to condemn and judge others for failing to live up to some standard of our own. And I think this is true for really two very simple and logical reasons. Reason number one, I honestly believe that if people knew better, if they know better, they almost always do better. So if we think we're right, if we think we're correct and we know the best way or a better way than other people, and we see them in error and we try to inform them about their error or at least a better path, and they don't accept it, they don't acknowledge it, they seemingly can't understand what we're saying, and we've tried and they can't seemingly wrap their mind around it, then I think we should have compassion for those people, toward those people, because they simply do not know. In this very specific sense, they are ignorant. Even if they know more than us in other areas, they are ignorant in this very specific sense, and that makes their understanding childlike relative to our enhanced understanding. And I don't believe that we judge and condemn children harshly ever because of their position in life. I don't think we condemn children. We're tolerant with children. We're patient with them. So this is how I think we should approach people that do not understand. We show patience and compassion for them because they simply cannot do better because they don't understand better at that moment. But that really just brings me to my next point. So never mind that a person can't know what they don't know. And never mind that we're rarely, if ever, absolutely correct or right about anything. If a person does know, if they are in agreement with us, if they do know best or better, and they're struggling to adhere to this, that warrants compassion. So if a person understands what we understand, and maybe even then some, and they aren't living by that, they aren't living what that understanding necessitates and compels, then they are trying, I guarantee you, and they're failing in almost every situation in sense of the word. They want to, but they are finding difficulty. And I think we should understand that we've seen this, we've experienced this many times in our own life, without a doubt. We've known what was best, we've known what was better. We knew what we should do. We knew what we needed to do, what would be best for us. And we failed to internalize that and live that perfectly or even approximately. We failed maybe completely and totally. But in these situations, I don't think we were unworthy of compassion. We weren't condemnable. We were not condemnable, in my opinion. In fact, we were warranting of more compassion as I see it because, like I said, we knew what was better. We knew what we should do, and we were trying. We were actually trying. But for whatever reason, at that moment in time, we lacked whatever required or necessary skill and will or ability to do that. And that warrants compassion, in my opinion. So I really believe that a person that truly understands does not move in error. And if they do move in error, there is a cost to that, a personal internalized cost. And that's called suffering. You are doing something or failing to do something that is right. You're doing something that you know to be less right. That causes suffering. And if you can't do what you struggle to do, what you believe you should do, then you're going to suffer from that. And people that aren't able to do or refuse to do what they know to be right, especially when they refuse to do, are unwell, in my opinion. There's something wrong with them. They may not be clinically or medically unwell, but they are in some existential sense of the word because they're diminishing their experience of this existence via suboptimal thinking and behavior, clearly. And I really don't think we judge people that are unwell harshly any more than we do children because at that moment, they're limited by their circumstances of illness. Now, of course, there are many people that are unwell by their own hand. They can improve their circumstances and conditions, but not instantly. So people that are unwell in that moment are warranting and should be afforded compassion because we can't expect a person that's limited by their conditions to do any more than they're capable of doing. The only person that would judge a person that's sick for being sick and not being able to be better is another unwell person, in my opinion. And I've come to this after a lifetime of being a compassionate person and after cultivating an understanding, a growing understanding, and what I believe to now be a robust understanding and crystallizing understanding. As it began to crystallize, as it began to expand and become more solid, more uniform, like I said, more robust, I found myself becoming less compassionate. I found myself growing a little bit colder, a lot colder in a lot of senses, a lot more distant and disconnected when I looked at the world and saw a bunch of other adults who did not share, acknowledge, or adhere to what I believe to be more right, more optimal, and in a sense, logically and apparently true things. They just weren't living truth, in my opinion. They did not understand what I understood, and they did not even accept what I was telling them as right and true from their perspective. They could not do it. They couldn't wrap their mind around it. And I saw this increasingly everywhere I went, everyone I talked to, period. There were people in books, obviously deceased posthumously. There were people that agreed with me and were aligned with me, but very few people, if any, in my current day, seemingly. So that made me realize that there was something wrong, because I had spent a life as a compassionate person, but I'd lost that. Somehow, some way, I'd short-circuited that compassion algorithm, the one that says when something comes into your purview and a person isn't able, then you show them compassion. If a person doesn't know, then you show them compassion. That's a logical algorithm, in my opinion. And I was not applying it. There was a short circuit in there. There was something broken in the algorithm. And I knew I needed to repair it because this was sensible. I was not living a sensible and logical existence. Yes, I knew, but knowledge should inform me of my position relative to other people, as it should you yours. If you know better, if you understand more, then you are in an elevated position in that specific sense. Maybe not in an existential sense, truthfully, where no one's above anyone else, but you are more mature in your understanding. And that means that you should have compassion for people that are not as evolved, not as far along as you are. I truly believe that. And I think that's how we should move and approach and treat everyone. Not just children, not just people that are unwell, but adults that are well and healthy, that are whole in every other sense of the word, but do not know what we know. Be compassionate toward them. Try to understand, try to see them, if you can, as children, if that helps. Not totally, not completely, but in this regard, in that specific instance and circumstance, they are a child, and be compassionate because they cannot know. And if they do know and they're not living that, then be compassionate once again, because without a doubt, they're struggling and they're trying and they're failing, or they aren't doing and they're suffering. So compassion is the only sensible and intelligent thing to do, to be, the only way to be, in my opinion, if we are cultivating an understanding, if we are improving our perspective and handle on this life and this reality in this world. I really believe that. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this and you want to see more videos like this. And I will see you on another one. You have a great day. Take care. Later.